You shot for us.
Yeah, I know Spanto.
Yeah.
So,
It's a ways back, a Dodgers thing.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Was that it?
I think it was Dodgers, maybe in MacArthur Park, like a couple years back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had me shirtless.
Yeah. Had the top
Pre-workout, I look more skinnier there. But
Popped the blouse off, had the tattoos showing.
it's all shy and shit.
Yeah. What's happening, man? How are you?
I'm good. I don't get out to these parts often. Went to high school around here though. Marshall. Did you really?
Jason gave me some
That's
notes.
fun.
Yeah.
Man, even all the way back to that era? Shit.
Yeah,
okay.
he's got the files on you.
He really knows.
Where are you now? Are you in K-Town?
Yep, K-Town. Can't leave.
But you in the notes I got from Jason, it said, yeah, be careful. She's got like a broken paw or something. So just don't let her jump off the couch, okay? My dog's deteriorating.
He's super cute.
Yeah, in the notes it said you came from Argentina first.
I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Oh shit.
And my mom and my dad speak perfect Spanish, and they're Korean. But they immigrated there from Korea when my mom was young. My dad in his early 20s moved there. They met, but I guess like just for work or some shit. Like a lot of Asians moved there to South America.
Korean
I think so.
contingent in
That
Argentina?
neighborhood they're from has like Koreans. The way like Chinese are in like Colombia or something. You know what I mean?
And it's in Peru.
Yeah.
What is it? Pollo La Brasa?
Yeah. Yep.
The people that own that are Asian.
Yep.
But it's like crazy Peruvian chicken.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it Peruvian?
Yeah, there's Argentinian spots too that if you go there's like a Korean running it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So fucking K-Town.
K-Town. Pretty much, I mean, I consider myself like born and raised there, even, because I came here when I was 3 and I've been residing in K-Town my whole life since then.
K-Town's interesting. Like, I'm thinking about just like Koreans in LA and I mean, like all kind of ethnicities or cultures. There's just like a little separate world going on that you're not really privy to. Right. Like there was an after hours called M Bar. I think it was called M Bar back in the day off of Temple. And it was like,
I think I know what you're talking about. This might be a little bit before my time though, but
it might be, but it was Korean people.
Okay.
And they just were like, they were just doing their own, like, and I've heard stories about like Korean spots just being kind of like outside the limits of law, right? Like where it's just like there's shit going on in these spots where, A, you just don't know about it if you're not part of the community. Like you might stumble across it one night.
It's definitely the underbelly of K-Town.
Yeah.
I've even gotten in trouble like speaking about it.
You have?
Yeah, like I've gotten, there was a time like, they've done pieces on me about like my neighborhood for like, over 15 years or something like that. And then there was one time in the LA Weekly, they're like, take us through like a day and night in K-Town. So like I ended in like, it was like a sketchy spot.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of days later, one of my homegirls like who works in that world was like, yo, my boss is looking for you and shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like now I might get in trouble now. No, but this was like a while ago.
Yeah.
And they were like the whole crew of people who like ran that stuff was like I was like in deep shit.
Oh wow.
And I had to like fix it and shit.
Really?
I had to like talk to people and like
to
make
clean
it
it
cool.
up.
Yeah, because I was just loose in the interview and I think I didn't think twice about it. You know what I mean?
I'm just plunging right back into the beef. Like
No. It
you're gonna
doesn't
make
matter.
amends again.
It doesn't matter. It was just like one of those things that I spoke so loosely. It was just like I assumed like everybody knows or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like I know that not talking more about it, but there's like after hour spots, like there's never been a ban on smoking in any of these spots. Like
Exactly.
fools have been smoking there. Like it never like there's just a different world.
Yeah.
Where like the rules of LA are just not. They don't enter in those places.
No, for sure. I found out that there are other spots too, though, like through other homies in different communities that they got their own little after hour shit. It's probably not as like crazy as maybe K-Town, but there are, I mean, when we were growing up in LA, there's places, you know what I mean? We used to go to and stuff, but there's definitely a cultural after hours thing going on in K-Town,
Yeah, every culture's got their little after hours.
For
like,
sure.
Some of them are like gambling spots. Like and things about LA is it's so spread out and there's so many different things going on. And if you're not tapped in, there's just things happening right next to you you never know about.
Oh, for sure.
You hear stories about it, but you're just like, and it just takes the right person to come pull up and be like, hey, come here this night. And all of a sudden you're at some weird fucking,
You need the designated homie, but also you need the right person or you can't even get in, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, you've been podcasting for a minute, right?
I have about like a little over 3 years now.
3 years. How's it going?
It's good.
Yeah.
We do it like about once a week.
Once a week.
It's very like Asian American focused. Like a lot of the guests or like the shit we talk about is kind of like the way we grew up or whatnot. So it's cool. And it wasn't intended like that. I think it was just like when we started, I was bringing in like homies that are involved in cool spaces, and a lot of them happen to be Asian and kind of got focused in it. And I was like, oh shit, it's kind of cool because I feel like there was a space for that,
Yeah.
So we just kind of leaned into that a lot more and shit.
Yours is video too, right?
Yep, video. We do it live. I know this is like a
we're
little
on
live
Discord.
action.
Well, how do you do yours live? Where do you go?
Right here. Well, not
On
Discord,
or
Twitch.
Twitch. Oh,
We
yeah.
do it on Twitch, but then we have Discord running too because when we take the calls, we take it from here.
You take it from Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that shit's sketchy because you don't know if like someone's gonna start like yelling some racist shit or something. You're like, we're not screening these motherfuckers, you know?
Has anyone done that?
Nah. Luckily,
Yeah.
but
A lot of times they just want to like hang out. You're like, can you come with a question? They're like, what's up? I'm like, what? I'm trying to work here. Like, I'm
Right.
trying to do something.
Right.
Like, ask me a question. Give me something to talk about. They're just like, hey, what's up, man?
yeah, it's like that too. That's the shit that's more annoying. It's not the crazy shit that they'll just call and be like, yeah, I just want to say like, I like your shit, this album, Bob. I'm like, okay, cool, bro.
Yeah.
You have like something you can
give me something
engage
juicy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not really much content. And it says also in Jason's notes, Jason produced this show.
Yeah.
He said that you at one point were a bail bondsman.
I was. That was a weird thing. So like, I guess, I mean, I went into like the creative world, like when I was about 22, 23 was when I like full on not working a job, just went into like, rapping or, all this other extra shit. Before I had all types of odd jobs. I worked at an insurance company.
Oh my God.
And then like a small insurance office that's an offshoot of like the main corporate thing, but their also side hustle was bail bondsman.
Right.
So I'm working as at the insurance company, but it's like barely any money. But they were like, "Yo, if you want to make some real money,
work, right? Like
fucking shitty, yeah,
terrible. Yeah.
I used to make side money by printing out fake insurance papers
Right.
for the homies.
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just give me $250. I'll just type it out for you.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like every job that I had, I was always like stealing from it or something.
There's some little side hustle.
Always,
Yeah.
movie theater. This I stole.
Yeah.
And then the bail bondsman shit was just like one of those things. Like I saw my other coworkers who was working in that bail bondsman were making a lot of money. I was like, yo, how do I do this shit? They put me through the training, but it was all sketchy. Like we would be soliciting jails and shit. Like our thing was this. So like the owners were Korean, so they would bail out usually like other Korean fools that are just getting into some bullshit, like it's like DUIs or domestic violence or some shit like that, right? Nothing like crazy, like everyday people get into. So we go on the jail website and we just type in Korean last names, like Park, Kim,
Right.
Lee's, and see who pops up and who just got locked up like that weekend.
Right.
So it was like there was like a filtering system, and it was easy because Korean last names, you only got like a handful.
Yeah.
Look that up. We're going through it and see who's getting that. And like, I remember my boss telling me like, those are the kind of cats we're trying to just like go and solicit. We go and interview motherfuckers across the glass, be like, yeah, you want to get bailed out? And we just figured it out. It was really sleazy, honestly.
Whoa, it's like
super
ambulance
sleazy.
chasing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
sleazy shit.
Oh shit! It's not exciting like fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter. You're not like
Fuck no.
chasing fools through K-Town.
Nah, I don't think
tasers.
that's the thing. They didn't want that. They wanted like normal motherfuckers who just got caught up or some shit. You
Right.
know what I mean? But it was super sleazy, honestly. It only lasted like 6 months or something before I was like, this shit is exhausting too, And
then you went like, what was your parent like? What was your parent? Your home life like? What was it? What were they thinking like?
Oh, my home life was, my parents were wild. My dad was like, drunk, really abusive.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, to us, but like, we're just kids and like, we just grew up with ass beatings and shit. But like seeing the shit with my mom was like the crazier thing. You know what I mean? So my dad was, he just got caught up, being an immigrant here, working mad hours, getting drunk, gambling. And I think I talk about that a lot. I just felt like it was like that pursuit of that American dream kind of ultimately broke apart our family. You know what I mean? Because those shits are long hours. You know, you get caught up and you just have to like stress relief. It was, you know,
And first generation doesn't get it usually. It's usually second generation gets it, right? American dream.
For sure.
The first generation is just like your dream is to grind. You see that in immigrants, right? Like then the kids are like they get afforded all this good shit, right?
Yeah.
Like you get access because you know how to navigate.
And it's also the freedom.
Right.
Like I feel like people always think about like, oh, Asian parents being super strict, but actually they're too busy to even be strict. I felt like my parents were never really strict. They were just so fucking working all the time. That's why I was able to go out, like sneak out to, you know, open mics at night and rap. Like I was going to South Central, you know, Project Blow every Thursday night.
Yeah.
And that's Thursday. That's 10:30 like PM when shit's popping and going to like 2 a.m. I was doing that every week for like years. You know what I mean? So luckily I had something like that. Of course you can get into some other shit too, like fucked up shit, you know, which was like a balance. I got into some wild shit too, but really that was like, I was lucky to be like obsessed with a thing that was actually like positive, you know?
Yeah. What years were you going to Project Blowed?
I was going probably 2003 was the first year I went.
Okay.
And I was about like 15, 16. And then I went, since then I was, you know, I'm still part of the family. So, I mean, I never really stopped until they just pretty much stopped. You know what I mean?
Damn, Project Blood. I mean, that shit. I didn't know it went on that long. I remember when that shit broke when I was a kid, and it was like Freestyle Fellowship, Volume 10.
Yep.
And those are like the ones that we know about. There's all the other like Bus Driver, like
Bus
there's
Driver,
all like the crazy like the
Riddler,
offshoots.
CV.
Yeah. And that dude, that Freestyle Fellowship album, I think now is too soon. It's still too far ahead,
bro. When I was growing up, you know, I was growing up on the radio shit, you know what I mean? And then like some of the underground stuff was like East Coast. It's like Black Star, you know, Ruckus, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember like I found the Freestyle Fellowship CD. Like this was before Project Blow.
Right.
And I just didn't get it still. You know, I was like, this shit is so weird.
Yeah.
And then after I started going to Project Blow and I started like soaking in all the freestyling and the places they took it, like I slowly started kind of getting like the artistry of it.
Yeah.
But those records were so bugged out. Like
So
they were
bugged out.
so left, you know what I mean?
I mean, even Volume 10, like Pistol Grip Pump,
Right.
I think that could land now. If something like that dropped now, and it had a fucking Young Boy or an NLE on it somewhere,
Right.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, everything's gotten very abstract and weird now.
Right.
Again, like
That's true.
But you know, but the Freestyle Fellowship shit, like you know, Micah 9, like that shit. The one I'm not gonna go into a whole thing where I'm like reciting the album, but I just haven't thought about it in so long.
Yeah.
And fuck, man, that shit was great. And going to Project Blow, like I think we went a couple times. Like I was when I was a kid, we like, you know, I was rapping a little bit, and we had like a crew, and I think I got pulled back into graffiti harder, so I stopped doing rap shit. But like, you know, we'd fuck around and like go check things out. It's intense. It's a crazy scene. Like you can fuck around over there.
No,
you know?
I mean it was a reality check for me because I was already killing shit in my school and like house parties and shit, you know. And I thought I was tight, and then I went over there. I almost shit my pants that first week. I stuck my head in a cipher, and I was like,
oh my god
damn, I got to go back to the drawing board. You know, I didn't even rap that first week, and I was ready to go in and just like go in the ciphers and just killing it. And I remember like hours passed, and I'm walking back to my homie's car, and I was like, fuck, I should have hopped in. And I was so disappointed in myself that I didn't. You know, it taught me like a huge lesson in like really playing with like the big boys in that level, you know, like knowing who the best shit is and knowing my comfort zones. And it took me out of my comfort zone crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Korean kid who didn't go like fucking south of Pico until that point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can end up really being a townie, you know, like I didn't leave Venice. I mean, I honestly didn't leave Venice until around 10 years ago. You know, like I said, I kind of ended up getting priced out really, but I just didn't leave. I was like, oh, you know, everything's here. Why would I go anywhere? And like, I didn't leave the neighborhood until like I hooked up with kids. that had cars in high school doing graffiti.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, we're gonna go here, go there. And I go, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Like maybe I've been to Westwood a little bit, but I really didn't leave.
I'm the same way. Like just like how you and Sponto like Venice, I'm K-Town, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not even about like, I mean, at some point, yeah, we did and whatnot, but definitely there's like an attachment to your neighborhood and how you rep it too.
Yeah.
And like when motherfuckers rep it like whack too. Like I want to be like involved in somehow, you know, like make sure I keep it in line and give the best representation of it. Because there's motherfuckers from your hood that'll like take the story of it and like turn it into a whole nother thing. You know, I feel like I like protecting kind of even the locals' story of it. You know what I mean? Like if you become like a voice or whatever, or an actor or whatnot, I want to make sure that the locals still have like the proper voice. Cause there's dudes in in all of our neighborhoods that like, you know, aren't the best for like Hollywood or like, you know, doing talk shows or whatnot.
Right.
You know, and I don't like when fools try to make fools of those cats. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, right.
Like I hate that shit.
Right. Yeah, when they're getting exploited or something.
Oh yeah, I
like
see that shit all the time.
painting the wrong picture.
Yeah, in Hollywood it happens too because like Asian stories are getting real popular now.
Right.
And I see fools looking into what K-Town they think K-Town is. And then turning it into a whole different thing.
Right. They're like, oh, this is cool. Let's do the K-Town experience. And they grab the wrong dude.
Oh,
and they're
always.
Fuck.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
What do you, I mean, is as a community, K-Town, do you think it's like, is there more of a structure as far as like older people, younger people, churches? Like, how does it work over there? What's the deal?
There's a lot. I mean, churches, it's funny you say churches because that's a big thing in the Korean community too.
Yeah.
Like when I guess immigrants come to like an ethnic area like Koreatown, like churches is where they congregate with each other. You know, I grew up in the Christian church and shit too, and meeting other like Korean families. Like I went to the same church as the family that started Forever 21.
Oh shit!
And they became like billionaires.
Oh,
You know
wow.
what I mean? And like their daughter was like my age and all that. But yeah, like it's churches, and then a lot of them families have businesses in downtown, like the fashion district, the toy district, like that whole area, Santee and all that.
Yeah.
That's like a huge thing. Wholesale downtown and Koreans and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Hold on, I'm looking more into Jason's notes. See if there's any questions on the Discord, Jason.
Ask him about Watsky.
Ask you about Watsky.
Watsky. What about him? I mean, what the fuck? What kind of question is that?
Who's Watsky?
He's a artist friend of mine I toured with. He was
How's Watsky?
he's good. I just saw him recently. Yeah.
Watsky's
He's
good.
good. He's fine. Don't worry. He's fine.
Watsky's good.
But he had a crazy viral thing happen mad years back where he jumped off of a crazy, like during a concert, he climbed up a crazy thing, and it was like the craziest stage dive that like probably up there with the craziest stage dives. He fucking, did you ever see that?
No.
Oh my God, it was nuts. Yeah, it was insane. It was pretty high up, higher than any of the like the Lil Uzi Vert's jump or whatever. Yeah. It went
What
crazy.
did Lil Uzi Vert do?
He did one off of like Rolling Loud, and it people like gassed it up, but it wasn't really that high up or nothing like that, you know.
Have you seen Daylight's take on Lil Uzi Vert?
Daylight the rapper?
Yeah.
No, what did he say?
He said, I love this. And I always try to find it on the internet.
Daylight's the homie, by the way, yeah, because we both come from battle rap world.
Oh,
so
yeah, there you go.
he's
Yeah,
the homie.
Daylight's sick. And he has this thing about Lil Uzi Vert where he goes, he basically breaks down Lil Uzi Vert's name. And if you say Lil Uzi Vert over and over again.
Low Uzi Vert, 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 Lucifer. Yo, that's fucking hilarious,
I was
bro.
thinking that. And he talks about how Lil Uzi Vert's like, he does this whole thing where he breaks down his rhymes where he talks about pointing a gun. He has something about pointing a gun up in heaven, all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, that's fucking sick. Like, cause I feel like a lot, I feel like a lot of, I was talking to my buddy about this earlier, like Satan, right? Has always been the go-to for just like controversy and like evil's cool, right?
Yeah.
And it's controversy. So it's like someone figured that out, like, in the 70s or 60s, like fucking, what's the original,
Satanic group?
not a satanic group. The original, it's like there's Kiss, but before Kiss, Alice Cooper.
Yeah,
it's like Alice Cooper was evil,
Right.
But Alice Cooper is just probably just some like funny fucking Jewish guy, right?
He's a pastor's son.
Yeah, something like that.
Is
Like,
he
it's
really? That's amazing.
But like, but the parents see him on stage, he's got dark makeup. He's like, I got a snake,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just been, it's either like back in the olden days you were accused of being into the devil, and now you embrace the devil for like, you know, the whole thing with Travis Scott and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, dude, like it's sick to worship the devil because you're gonna sell a lot of albums if you're good.
Right.
And it makes it look like you're fucking scary, but
It does make you. It makes it. It feels like they're like so bold enough that
Right.
they'll take on the devil or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we
Yeah.
grew up, like a lot of us grew up like even in the church or whatnot. And when it's not like all of a sudden we're like super religious, but like embracing devil shit seems like you're still kind of unsure. Like, what if there is a
What
heaven
if?
and hell?
Yeah.
You know, like, what if there is a heaven and hell? I'm fucked because I just
Right.
did something about it with the devil. You know, it's like,
yeah, like what if it like, because I don't really believe that there's an afterlife, but it's like,
Yeah.
there's always that one thought of like you die and you're like, oh fuck,
yeah.
god damn it, like you're in hell and you're like, I fucking I should have been careful. I
I
should have known.
suspected it, but
Yeah.
no, yeah, that's what it is.
Cover
Yeah.
your bases.
Daylight
cover
is
your
a beast.
bases.
Daylight's a beast, though, man.
Yeah. He's
That
on TDE now,
motherfucker's
isn't he?
Yeah, he fucks with him. I don't know the whole logistics of that, but
Right.
I've just been a fan of his like raps and shit are just so cryptic.
Yeah.
You know, he like breaks down words insane. Yeah.
Also, like the fucking the face tattoo early, like he has the full like,
Oh yeah.
what is it? It's like the
Like
wrestler.
yeah. He's
Is
like
it-
the Gigi Allen of battle rap or
Totally,
something. Like
totally.
taking a shit on stage.
Right.
yeah.
He's got a dark wall kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember Cadillac Ron?
Yeah, that's the homie too. Cadillac was like, I gave Cadillac like his first battle. I used to throw battle rap events, and I told Caddy, I was like, "Yo, you should do this shit." You know, and then he, the first like battle thing he did was like through me, like
Right.
acapella battling.
Right.
But yeah, I've known Cadillac Ron for a long time.
Yeah, he was wild, man.
He was.
He was a wild guy. I
He was.
remember
He did heroin like live
shot heroin while he's rapping
during
yeah.
the thing, and that shit was wild. Dude,
Yeah,
that's another
dude.
Gigi Allen.
Yeah, I mean,
vibe.
he was really he was more, you know, he's dead, but rest in peace, Cadillac
Yeah.
Ron. But he shot dope up while he was rapping.
Yep.
So if you guys want to Google that little treat, Cadillac Ron shoots up heroin.
Google that little tree.
Google
I
that
mean,
one.
it's just, it is kind of crazy because in hip hop, we see so many people like passing away, like, you know, this era. And even when I think back into my era of artists that I grew up with, a lot of them passed away too. Like people I've done stuff with, you know, I did an interview with like Sean P and he's passed away. You know, I battled somewhat like 2 opponents that I've battled in the past are, you know, dead now, you know, like, and it's just like, shit is crazy how that shit just happened. And fool's not all through like violent shit or drugs, just to
Right.
age and health, you know? It's like, wow.
I feel like I mean, it's a reflection of the black community, but the hip hop community motherfuckers die more than, you don't see this in like, you know, it wasn't, I mean, a lot of people died in rock and roll, but nowhere near, I think, as much. I mean,
You think so?
I think if you did a metric, if you were to break down like per, you know,
Genres.
the amount of people in this group, I'd say so many more people have died in rap, especially recently.
Yeah.
Because people die and you don't even blink. Like fucking, dude, what's his face just got stabbed at the YG thing.
Yep. Drakeo.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just, and it's like not even, it just happens so fast. Like
Yeah.
fools die. It seems like every month a rapper dies, but the
yeah.
news cycle is so crazy. You know, like when Tupac and Biggie died, it was like the whole fucking, you know, both coasts were just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
You know, like even Big L was like, whoa, Big L's dead. You know,
Right.
But now it's just kind of like a dude dies, and it's like, well, the news cycle is so fucking fast. We're on to like whatever the fuck's happening next.
I was thinking about that, seeing like what that was like during that era, because obviously we have certain greats that we all remember that passed away, but there must have been like smaller rappers too that probably passed away too. No, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
maybe even more now.
I think it happens a lot, man. I think
Yeah.
that, and I think that, look, there was a mass shooting last week, I think, in Buffalo, and I'm like, it's already like being pushed out of my head.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like watching this shit on Instagram of like people talk about like, this is my mom. She helped the community. She got killed.
Yeah.
It's terrifyingly tragic, right?
No, yeah,
but
for sure.
but also we're completely at the mercy of this like churning news cycle. So it's just like, yeah, you know, like, yeah, they're probably gonna nuke the Ukraine, the fucking Buffalo thing, but then we're like, well, Amber Heard just took a shit on Johnny Depp's chest, so that's
Right.
you know, it's just fucking, we're inundated.
I don't
you know?
think we can dwell on one death nowadays. There's so much
Yeah.
shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's not like when one person dies, they even get like 2 weeks of attention.
Yeah, Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's like nothing. Like there's no, like
Even DFX was like,
yeah,
I mean, that was a big one. That
was
was
a
more
big one.
one of the more bigger ones. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it's like if you,
even that.
yeah, I mean, even in comedy, it's like you went from like Norm Macdonald to like Bob Saget,
Oh, yeah.
Gilbert Godfrey. You know, it's like bam,
but
bam,
Gilbert
bam.
Godfrey died. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Like bam, 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 like back to back. You know,
Bob Saget died mysteriously, and it's like totally like had this happened 20 years ago, we would be talking about just Bob Saget for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like we would be like going over, it would be like court TV, all this stuff. Bob Saget, like news
Detective.
specials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's just like, pfft, keep moving. What else? Like there's no.
shit's crazy, man.
Yeah,
We're just
it's crazy.
numb to it. Everyone's
we're
numb to it.
It's,
you know.
Yeah, we're getting too much information. Everything's moving too fast. And we've been through. I don't know. We've been through a lot, man. It was like the lockdown too. Like the whole lockdown thing. I think like
All the COVID deaths and
yeah.
shit.
Oh, there's 1 million COVID deaths in America.
Did you
right?
did you know people who died of COVID
I don't.
in the last like 3 years of pandemic?
I
or
don't know
something?
anyone directly. Who
Me
died.
too. I knew like friends who were like my grandparents died or something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck do we not know some directs? You know what I mean? Like, do you know any directs?
My girlfriend's almost stepfather.
Oh, okay.
And people like that. I know people like so and so's dad, and so and so went to a coma. Like
Yeah.
because then you start to question even that. You're like, is that even real? But then it's like, well, no, people are really getting like, I know people who got fucked up. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I got a few friends. I got a friend who got it so bad he had like, he had blisters in his mouth.
Oh
Like,
shit.
He got COVID. And a healthy guy, healthy, strong dude. Like he got like it was boiling him from the inside, and he had access to all the fucking medicines you could get. And he's like, if I didn't have access to this shit, I might have been toast.
I feel like the first wave of motherfuckers who caught it got the worst post-COVID effects.
Yeah, that
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had homies who were like, my lungs are permanently like there's holes in it and shit, and like all types of shit.
Yeah.
But these days it's more like you get rid of it in a week or two. Whatever.
No, I talked to another guy whose friend has lingering COVID, and they said it's like he's had a terrible flu for like a year. I'm like, fuck
that sounds absolutely fucking
Terrible.
miserable, bro.
Terrible.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I got a hard enough time like making my way through the world without having a terrible flu on top of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
For sure.
it's wild, man. We've been subjected to some insane shit in the past few years. And
Shit's going back. I mean, honestly, I'm about to visit Korea.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone there. I usually would go like once or twice a year, whether it's like for work or just chilling, catching up with friends.
Yeah.
And obviously since the top of the pandemic, I haven't gone, but I'm gonna go next month for the first time, and things are finally like open again there.
Yeah. And
So-
what is it like when you go to Korea? Let's say you're not connected yet.
Yeah.
And you go to Korea as a Korean American. What's the reception like there?
To just any Korean Americans.
Yeah.
I think it's they're pretty used to it.
They're chill.
Yeah, most Koreans speak pretty good English.
Right.
It's not like Japan. Like
Right.
Japan, if you go, it's hard to get around. I remember going to Japan multiple times and just like, it's hard to navigate if you're like, an English speaker or signs. Like
Yeah.
in Korea, it's pretty accommodating to English speakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and most of them speak pretty good English. I think it's because the pop culture in Korea just gotten so big.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's huge.
It's gotten huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Even when
K-pop exploded.
Yeah, back in the day, like I'd go there and I'd be somewhat of a celebrity because I was only like a handful of like musicians during the time. Now
Right.
there's like 1,000 Korean rappers. Like I'm
Right,
nobody.
right.
They already have their own stars and shit.
Right.
So things have changed crazy. Like it's been explosion. You know
That
what I mean?
shit, that was a crazy crossover. Like the K-pop, the way the K-pop shit got so big and like just kind of crushed America.
Fucking crazy.
Crazy. Like you wouldn't expect it. That's why, things are, it's interesting. Like there's like, things are opening up in a way, and there's good and bad things that are happening. There's a lot of downsides, there's a lot of upside because, K-pop, who knew? I wouldn't even know. I've never listened to K-pop. I don't know what the fuck
I
it
would
is.
say
but-
Latin culture has had a huge explosion, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, if you look at the charts or something, like Bad Bunny's all over that shit.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, people talk about the K-pop shit, but I see so much of the Latin crossover too.
Yeah. Well,
It's probably those two, like, has had the.
And we think America is like, we think American media
exactly
is like, we're like, this is it. And it's like, dude, there's a whole world of
Yeah, I'm like that too. Even though I'm Korean or whatever, I'm so stuck in my like Asian American world.
Yeah.
And the truth is, it's like I just can't fully relate to that side of things.
Right.
Like I could be Korean and I see my people doing their thing, but I feel so kind of over here more than anything.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Were you on some post-apocalyptic TV show?
Post-apocalyptic TV show. I'm trying to think what that would
Am
be.
I thinking of the right thing? What TV shows have you
I've
been
done
on?
Nora from Queens, which is with Aquafina on Comedy Central. I did Power. I did like a few episodes of
Oh,
Power.
maybe it was Power. Oh no, it was Power. I mixed up the shows.
Power is where
It was Power.
It was like early on. This was years
yeah.
ago. This was one
I
of my
was
first
rewatching.
acting gigs, and I like sliced my pinky
Yes.
off and shit.
But Koreans don't do that, do
No,
they?
dude, it was
That's what stuck in my head. I
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
I was like, why are they doing that?
So when that was one of my first acting gigs,
Right.
and this was like 5+ years ago, and they wanted to have like an Asian gang side of this
Yeah.
like underworld.
Yeah.
But they wanted to squeeze in everything. So that when they were dressing me, they were like, we want it to be like a gangster meets K-pop or something. So they're putting like eyeliner on me, all this shit.
Get the fuck outta here.
And then when I got punished, they're doing a Yakuza thing, which is Japanese.
Yeah.
So they're literally mixed in every Asian thing that they possibly knew into this role. It was like
Dude.
K-pop, Yakuza, like all that
Right.
shit. So that was pretty funny. I mean, I just did whatever because my first acting role.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wasn't like, this is incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now I that's what it was. I was, because you know what it is. I'll sit down. I'll put something on when I'm like taking a nap to like I just like watch TV when I nap. And I started rewatching. I never really fully watched Power.
right.
Like I would get into it a few times, and I saw it, and I was like, oh shit, that's Homeboy. And I was like, and then why? I'm like, why the fuck are they cutting this? That's not a Korean
No, that
thing.
shit is incorrect. They just wanted to squeeze in everything they probably thought was Asian.
That's such a big fuck up.
I
Like,
know.
It's like ridiculous. Like
I know.
it's not even like, it doesn't make any sense. You know
But
what I'm
like
saying?
cats, like people, the hip hop world really loves that show.
Yeah.
Like all the rappers and shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember when I did that role, like more people knew me in the hip hop world for that than me actually rapping.
Then you rapping.
Yeah, because like when I rap, like everyone has their like niche markets. Like my market is like Asian kids, or
Yeah,
some
yeah.
underground hip hop heads.
Yeah.
But like when I'd be on tour, like just it wouldn't be anybody in the crowd. It'd be more like just I'd be walking down the street and some random like hood dude would be like, "I saw you in Power, man." Like,
Oh, right.
They didn't even know I rapped or nothing. I was like, "I saw
Right.
you in Power," so
Yeah.
it'd be funny.
I mean, that's the power of television as
Yeah.
a media, right? Like, this shit's just gonna fucking reach.
Nah, for sure.
It's like your music is niche, and you're not a huge pop star, and it's just like
Exactly.
there's whole musical scenes that like if you think about it, there's so many musical scenes that are so serious to so many people that you just never aware of or going to tap into.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I just like the whole fucking hardcore emo scene.
right.
Right, like that was so huge and probably still is, and it's like I've been I didn't even know about it. I remember I got this job and I was working in Orange County, and I didn't know what hardcore music was.
Yeah.
I knew what punk music was. I'm going to Venice, I didn't know what hardcore was. I didn't know what emo. I didn't even know what it is. So imagine you don't know what emo is, and I met my first emo, and I was like, whoa, what's this guy doing?
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh, he's gay, or he's really glam. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
I just didn't know, and I was like, cool, and then he wasn't. I was like, he's like, yeah, my girlfriend's. I'm like, your girlfriend? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, my girlfriend's at my house. I'm just like, and he's just got full makeup on, hair, and I'm just like, it was mind boggling. And then I started tapping into it and being like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And it's just, there's just so many different. I mean, I'm not breaking the internet here by saying that there's so many different cultures, but
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
just weird that how many niche things are running alongside.
I mean, to be honest, I think people should feel lucky if they even get a niche following.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like I remember when I was growing up, and obviously we all, not everybody, but like we have these huge dreams of being like a household name or
Yeah.
a global pop star, the
Yeah.
biggest rapper or whatnot. And then, as time passes, you get your own following, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you don't realize that, like, you're lucky to even have that. People don't ever get fan bases.
Yeah.
Like real shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I know I have my like niche thing, but in hindsight, I'm like, what am I doing? I have homies who are still trying to grind and get a decent following. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I should count my blessings and be like, I have that.
100%.
You
Yeah,
know?
you get caught up. I was thinking about that the other day. Like I was driving, I'm like, I was thinking about like, because I've been in business with Born and Raised for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
And there's been so many times where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is fucking hard.
Yeah.
What's happening? Like, where is it going? It's taking up so much time. Like, I should be doing this. And then the other day I was driving around, I was like, wait a minute. You know how hard it is to just get anyone to pay attention to anything?
Oh, for sure.
Like, seriously, like to really even like strike a chord.
Yeah.
So, and the problem is once you do it, you're no longer looking at yourself and the people that like are next to you. You're looking at this new market you're in. And you're like, well, this guy is making fucking, 26 million a year.
Yeah, that's
and like
true.
this dude's got fucking doing the Vogue and like and you get caught into that shit and you kind of fail to see like, what about just having a business that works? Like,
Exactly. That could be like the beginning of the end for a lot of people when they start focusing on the outside.
Start
shit.
looking at other
It's the
people.
same shit. It's like videos and comments, right? Like instead of all the love comments we look at all the hater comments.
Right. Yeah.
You give so much attention to that shit, that one motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck you,
Yeah, it's never the positive, it's always a negative comment. It's like you
Exactly.
sift through it and you're like, oh, this guy thinks I'm fucking ugly. Fuck you. I don't even, to be honest, like I don't even trip on those comments. Like I don't read the YouTube comments.
Me too.
Once in a while, I'll like the other day, someone wrote some comment and I told them to go fuck their father or something. But I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Someone like, people are like, people love, we live in an era too, where people are like, they know that they can get attention by being dicks.
Right.
And they know that there's two ways. They know that like they can't get attention by doing anything interesting because all these people too have like ghost accounts. The
Yeah,
people are talking
100%.
shit.
Yep.
Like you don't have no interest. You have no insight into their life. So you can either get attention by A, tearing someone down, canceling them, destroying them if you find a way.
Yeah.
Or B, just shitting on them and being like trying to make them feel like shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And like some comments like I wish you're something about the show, and I'm like, bro, I totally don't give a shit. Like I don't give a fuck.
And they get gassed up, especially when their comment gets like 15 thumbs ups.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's just adding fuel to
Like,
their
yeah, fuck
egos.
this guy.
Like, yes, I have an army with me now that
Right.
hates together.
And they think that because in their mind, you're some sort of like media figure. You're like, no, you're just a person doing something.
Yeah.
The same, like you're not. It's not like you're like, it's not like you're fucking Rihanna. Even if, I'm sure she even sees things that's like, oh, that fucking stung.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's not that the comments are. It's just that they are looking at you like something that doesn't seem human, that they can just like project things onto.
And what they don't realize about even formats like this is like we're just having a conversation. You
Right.
know what I mean? And everything's loose. So they'll focus on one thing you said. It's like, well, this blah blah blah, and we're not even thinking about it that hard.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
they'll focus on that thing you said. It's like, no, I have to disagree with you, blah blah blah, and write a fucking think piece on the shit.
I think right.
And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? This was just a loose conversation.
Yeah, we're
like,
just talking here. Yeah. We're just a couple of dummies talking, like
Exactly,
barely
yeah.
fucking, lucky to be here, I think.
Lucky to be here.
And also I saw are you doing some sort of a film venture? Like you're doing a
Yeah. So I've been in doing TV and film stuff for a long time now as an actor or developing stuff. But
Yeah.
I just launched a production company, and our first film project is with Anderson .Paak that we're shooting later this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be our first project, and from there on, we're just going to be developing TV shows and movie projects and stuff. So,
How's Anderson .Paak involved?
well, he's my friend from like almost 15 years now. So, like we used to do music together. Him and the Free Nationals were like my band. Like Anderson
okay.
was my drummer and
Oh,
shit.
sick.
We just came up together, and since then, like I've always liked as he's gotten bigger and I've gotten into like TV and film, I've tried to like include him in certain projects or develop stuff together.
Right.
Because I'm like, yo, obviously you're popping, so people want to, get some of your ideas going on this other medium and shit. So
Right.
we started developing like a TV thing together, and this is a movie idea that he brought to me, and I connected him with the right people, and now we're working on it together. Yeah.
So you basically facilitated like getting it written, and you're gonna produce
exactly.
it.
And I'm producing it. And Anderson's gonna like direct it,
Oh, nice.
and him and his son are gonna be in it.
Oh, okay, sick.
Yeah.
And then are you connected to a studio for this whole venture?
Yeah. This studio called Stampede Ventures, and they financed it, so it doesn't have a home yet, but it's dope because we didn't have to wait for that. We have the money. We're gonna
Right.
shoot it and then
Amazing.
sell it to the highest bidder.
That's the way to go.
Which is great because when I went into the meeting with him, it was just like they greenlit it on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Like before, I was working on projects for multiple years that never happened. You know,
Right, you got to attach someone big. Yeah.
So this one now it's like it's going down. So
What's the
I'm
budget
stoked.
like?
I can't
Ballpark.
reveal that right
You
now.
can't
Yeah,
reveal
yeah.
that.
But it's not crazy. It's like an indie budget.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
After we like wrote the script, it's a bigger movie, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to like I think get some more money involved.
Get some more money involved. Yeah.
But it's not crazy, but it's not like super low either. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like making a film, if you've done anything, you know, if it's just like building a company. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, we're gonna start this little company. You're gonna build the product.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna dissolve it when it's over and you're gonna sell it. So it's like a scaling trajectory.
Yeah.
For a film. So it's like I look at, and I think about that all the time, is like making a feature. It's like super doable.
It
Like,
is.
you know,
yeah.
once you have the thing, you attach the right people, and you get the fucking thing, boom, boom, and then you're good. You get your name on the board, ready to
Making
roll.
it good is the hardest thing, though.
That's the hardest part. Yeah, that's the other.
That's the hardest shit, you know. So I mean, it's a lot of it's nerve wracking because this is our first shit.
Yeah.
you know, like it's a lot of times in the industry that's like kind of like the make it or break it thing.
Yeah.
like it determines how easily you're gonna get the money to do your next shit. You
Yeah.
know, so it's
Has he
pretty
directed
nerve-wracking.
before? Has he done anything?
He's done music videos. He hasn't done a feature, but you know, it's like he has a good team around him. So I
Yeah.
think it's going to be like done really. I'm stoked. I think from what we've been working on, it's something that like no one's ever seen, like this story. So it's cool, and it involves a lot of like Black and Asian worlds coming together. So
Cool.
it's really cool. Yeah.
He's from LA.
He's from Oxnard.
Oxnard. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He's from Oxnard.
Yeah.
Oxnard's a trip.
Yeah. Oxnard, and his son is half Korean.
Okay.
So the
that's right.
story is like a lot about his son and
Right.
stuff. So I'm going to Vegas tomorrow, I think, or Monday.
What are you doing?
Actually, I'm going to meet up Anderson to finish up the final like draft. of
Is
the
that where he
script.
lives?
No, he has residency right now with Silk Sonic over there.
Oh no
Yeah,
shit.
which is crazy because he's like probably one of the youngest dudes to have like a residency, because that's more like an older artist thing.
Yeah.
You like kind of the legacy artists have a thing there, but Silk Sonic, they have like a really dope show that they've been doing over there. So
What's your take on Vegas?
you know what? I've never been a regular Vegas dude growing up here. I never like, I have homies who go like every weekend and shit.
Gamblers.
Gamblers
Yeah.
and but also just like partiers.
Yeah.
But that's not like my party scene or nothing like that. Gambling, I can see myself getting caught up in it easily.
Yeah.
But every time I start, I'm just like, I
Yeah.
feel like everything. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit! Like I feel
it kicks in, you're
I
like,
feel
ah.
my dad's blood running through my
Right,
veins and
right,
shit. You know what I
right.
mean? And it's I gotta chill. It's fun, I guess, for the gambling part. It's not really my party scene or anything. But
Yeah, there's some serious Korean gamblers, right?
bro, like I think a lot of Asians in general,
Yeah.
like Filipinos,
Right.
Koreans,
I-
even Chinese. Yeah.
Yeah, and I go to the casino, and it's like I'll be doing good, and then sometimes I get flanked by like two Korean dudes.
Yeah.
and then I forget because they don't fuck around.
Yeah.
and there's a certain. I mean, can I generalize that? Am I being xenophobic by saying like? And like I'll forget and I'll just get crushed because I'm not paying attention. I'm like, these dudes, you can't bluff them.
Right.
They don't fuck it like, and they bet hard. And like if you don't respect their play, you just wipe you out. Like
No,
the last
it's
time I went out, I was woozy and tired. And I was doing good. I was coming back up, and I just I'm like, oh, okay, this guy sat down and I wasn't paying attention, and next thing you know, I was toast.
I mean, it's a thing,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a big stereotype, I guess, of the Asian community too, because there's buses that go to Vegas every day,
Right.
from here,
Right.
and they just take like older Asian cats that just go over there, gamble for the day, pull back up.
Yeah.
They go crazy.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
That's what's up, man. I'm going to Vegas. Like I don't like Vegas. Like it's just it's like you're just painted into a corner over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't drink, so it's like if you're not drinking,
That's true.
it's like what the fuck? If you're not drinking and you don't want to gamble, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like what am I gonna do in the time when I'm not playing cards and fucking I'm gonna have to find something to do. But there's no like I like to go hike and shit.
Yeah.
I'm a very like mellow person.
Did you ever drink or?
Oh yeah, I was a fucking
Yeah,
nut.
I'm like in the stage of my life where I'm like trying to cut it out.
Yeah.
because I'm a heavy drinker.
You're a heavy drinker.
and I've always kind of been, and like
Well, you got it. It's in your blood.
it is. But I think I'm just I think it's not just the Korean drinking thing, because Koreans have like
No, like you're
soju.
talking about your old man.
Oh
right?
yeah, my old man. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I didn't think about it like that. You know,
Yeah.
and that's funny because I would think that when I was growing up, like I wouldn't drink because my dad was so wild that way.
Yeah.
And I saw him do horrible things, but it turned into me drinking regularly.
You
know?
end up turning into.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
always a scary thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then also like I think K-Town is a huge just drinking.
K-Town's so
neighborhood.
boozy.
It's like
so
insane.
It's so
boozy.
fucking boozy over
It's
there.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I have like some struggles in that area.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly in this kind of place right now where I'm trying to go full on. You know, that transition. You know, I'm sure that you made a decision at some point. Or
I mean,
whatever.
I had to flame out. Like,
Yeah.
I had to hit the wall like doing 100s for me to like.
Right.
That's I'm in like Alcoholics Anonymous. They call it bottoming
Yep.
out. You know, so you bottom out, and like everyone has a different bottom.
Right.
Some people's bottom is like. I got divorced and fucking lost the house and like crashed my
Right.
car. Other people's bottom was like I was in a ditch sucking dick for fucking meth.
Right.
You know, like everyone has a different level.
Yeah.
You know, and it just depends. And people talk to me about it all the time. They're like, I got a friend, she's really fucked up. I want to take her somewhere. And it's like the problem is, no one will do it unless they want to do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if someone's like, I'm gonna fucking leave you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. It's like 9 times out of 10, you got to figure it out, and you got to feel like you get to a point where you really are disgusted with yourself.
I'd rather almost feel like I'd rather just, treat this as my bottom than end up in a ditch. Like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
while I kind of have this clear sense of like wanting to do it,
Yeah.
then hit that bottom. But I've been in terrible moments too, where I've
Yeah.
like come home and it's just like in a terrible place,
Yeah.
looking in the mirror, like talking to myself, like, what are you doing?
What do you do with your life?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
Yeah.
Flushing down drugs and,
Yeah.
but then it just becomes a repetitive thing.
Yeah. No, dude,
And-
dude, it's.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, well, I'll just have like one shot. I'll be chill tonight, and then
Yeah.
fucking cut to like 3 a.m. You're like, it's the whole shit is just going off.
That's a scarier thing when you become a functional alcoholic or a drug addict
Yeah.
or whatnot, because
Yeah.
you can still get things done and like no one from the outside really full on sees that,
Yes.
and maybe it's like a few loved ones here and there, and you're just like, what? I'm still getting shit done, like,
Yeah.
So I think that's the harder part. I think that's the worst place to be actually, when you know better, but you're still doing it.
Yeah, when you're able to fold it into your life and keep your life afloat, it is tough because it's also like people also want like it's an easy way to hang out with people. It's socially acceptable. Your friends are all drinking, and they don't. It's like it's the same reason I'm like I can't fucking eat like 3 Cheez-Its. I'm not gonna have any.
Yeah.
I just eat the whole bag.
Exactly.
Whereas like someone else will be like, I just had 4 of them and I'm good. Like
But
my
is that like cutting out, like say like drinking, like obviously one of the things that fuels that is social settings.
Yes.
So do you just cut out the social setting completely?
A
lot of people do, I know.
you might have to in the beginning.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere. I can
Right.
go to any bar. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just too loud. I'm just like, I want to get up early at the gym. Like,
Got you.
but yeah, there were years where I was going out because when I got sober when I was really young,
Mm-hmm.
and I was unsober for a minute, but I spent like 10 years sober really young, and I was still going out all the time to clubs. And I was like, I still got to go out. I still got to talk to girls. I still got to have this life.
Yeah.
And so I was going out and drinking water and hanging and like being like getting into the vibe of like the whole thing.
That's what I want to do. I
Yeah.
want to be able to get there.
You can get there. It's just like you got to be able to, it's just like if you have the ism, you gotta figure out how to put it down, and as we say, we're saving you a seat. If you ever want to come by, I'll take you to a meeting.
Might have to dead ass.
Yeah, anytime. No, seriously.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, good shit. We did a good hour.
That was a good hour right there.
Yeah, well, 52 minutes technically.
Oh well, sorry, it's 52 minutes. We don't have any ad reads. Do you guys have ads on your show?
We do occasionally get ads. I mean, it's not like crazy. We're not like making crazy money off of it. But I
Yeah.
love it because this shit is just like I end up with content to share on everything. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like the clips, all the shit.
Yeah.
Like the same with you. It's like
Yeah.
I love that. I love sharing the clips. A lot of people don't even really listen to it. They just love the clips, know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, people were like, I saw your show. I'm like, which part did you like? I'm like, oh, so you watched the clip.
yeah.
Because they think they watched the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for I get it. It's hard for anybody to get through a whole episode of a podcast, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You have to be like hardcore loyal about
I
it.
feel like too with podcasting, like I have a love-hate relationship with it. Like I really like sitting down and talking to people. It's cool. Sometimes I get annoyed because I'm just like, there's a lot going on, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like where it's in my house. Like I get it out of my house. I gotta get a studio, but
Yep.
but I do like the idea that there's this, that this body of work is going to exist.
Yeah.
And you never know. You never know what it's going to turn out to be.
Right.
And also just like you might be in your 70s one day and be like, I'm going to take a look at what it was like,
And you'll
40
have
years ago.
fucking
And you'll be like,
100+ episodes of stories and experiences you're going through at the time.
yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool thing.
It is
to do.
cool. It is cool, but it also gets people canceled too.
It can get you canceled. Yeah.
There's motherfuckers that, Shane McGinnis with the SNL thing. He was a guy who had a podcast.
Oh, I love that
They
dude.
found, his stand-up is actually fantastic. This is coming from an Asian guy,
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
but then the Asian community was in an uproar during that time of it. And
I don't know exactly. He made an Asian joke on SNL.
No, not on SNL, on his podcast.
Okay.
Before he got casted on SNL.
Right.
And it was like,
But he was already on, but he didn't do a show or something, right?
no, he got on SNL and they announced that, and somebody, I guess, pulled up a past episode of him and his co-host.
Right.
Where they make some Asian jokes and they're
Right.
doing like, I mean, it was pretty bad in the sense they're doing like super racist like impersonations and
Yeah,
shit like
yeah.
that. And I don't know the full context, honestly. I just saw the clip and the clip looks kind of bad. I can see how people are mad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it spread and everyone was like trying to get him kicked off of SNL for
Right.
it. Like
And
he
this is-
shouldn't be on it.
Right.
But I think what made it worse was that this was the same year that he got put on as a new cast member at the same time as Bowen Yang, who's an Asian cast member.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like those were the two. I mean, there was them and another girl, but those were the new cast members they announced. It was the first ever Asian guy on SNL ever.
Right.
So that's what made it worse.
Right.
Because it was
It's
like,
just it's like a climate. Like, I don't know what I don't know what he did with Joker. I'll just say this separately from all that. The motherfucker is so funny.
his
like,
stand-up is
He's
really good.
really funny.
Yeah,
I
it's
listened to
good.
his podcast, and
Yeah.
him there it's just hilarious.
His
Like,
special is good. Have you seen his new special?
I
I actually did a stand-up show with him too, and him and Bobby.
Oh, you do
Lee.
stand-up
I do
too?
stand-up too.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, him and Bobby Lee, we did a whole thing together, and like Bobby said some shit funny on stage about that whole shit too. It was fucking hilarious.
Bobby Lee fucking rips too.
yeah,
I saw
he's
him.
fucking hilarious.
I saw him in the Comedy Store. I was like, that dude's a force of nature.
Oh, yeah.
like he is.
Yeah.
And I don't even like. I hate comedy. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just because
Wait, how do you hate comedy? That's-
because 9 times out of 10 it's so unfunny to me.
Yeah.
It's like there's like some comedians that are hilarious, but I'd say the majority of comedians are like, just kind of like, they're like, fuck this chick in the ass. I'm like, who cares? It's not funny. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I've seen there's a lot of bad, I'll just say this, there's a lot of bad comics.
I think
who are boring.
Where you're coming from is that you can't put yourself in, like you have to put yourself in that mode to laugh, I think, when
Yeah.
you're in comedy.
Yeah,
So like when they
yeah,
tell
yeah.
a random story or premise, you have to kind of like force yourself to like care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
or
most
it's
of
like
the time,
you gotta be honoring the 2 drink minimum. You gotta be really,
like the whole experience.
you gotta be, you
Yeah.
gotta be in a goofy mood, ready to laugh. Like I'm ready to laugh. Look, I love, I'm dying to fucking laugh all the time.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
go
dying
to
to laugh.
I am constantly. I'm trying. I mean,
dying to laugh.
I'm constantly trying to fucking make
Yeah.
things funny or laugh at something or somebody, even at anyone's expense. But like the last time I went to the Comedy Store, we saw a whole bunch of people, and it was like maybe 3 of them were funny, and Bobby Lee was one of them. Santino was another one.
yeah.
Wardell was funny. Like because it's like they got like there's something there. Louis C.K. is fucking funny.
Right.
I don't know if I'm but it's hard. I think it's a hard. Huh?
Yeah, those guys are fun.
I think a lot of comedians, huge comedians, are literally like, I think it's just they have an audience that's not me.
So you don't like the I mean, Louis C.K. is huge, but
Yeah, no, yeah. But like there's a lot of big comedians who are like, they're not talking, they're not, the jokes aren't for me,
Well,
it's
everyone
for like
has
another guy.
Yeah, everyone has their kind of type of comedian,
Yeah.
I guess the huge megastars of comedy, they kind of tap into the general like masses, I guess.
But even like Kevin Hart
Yeah,
has
he's
an-
like a massive
Cat Williams in his prime was fucking amazing.
Yeah, he
like
was.
Cat Williams, like I was crying, you know. Obviously Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Chappelle was incredible. I just saw him at the Hollywood Bowl. Fucking sick.
You didn't see the show
Nah, I
where
didn't
they
see- the stabbing?
Yeah, did you see how they mashed that guy?
Oh yeah,
Do you
no,
see-
no.
his arm was backwards.
I wasn't at that one. He did like 3 nights there, but I was like, I wish I was at that one.
I know. I wish I would have seen that.
That should seem like a legendary moment of some sort.
He looked like a steamroller, like he
Bro,
looked like a cartoon steamroller guy. Like
I can't even look at I'm not good at like looking at bones out of place and shit. I hate. So when I saw that shit, I just couldn't even stare at it.
I had to, I don't like that. I hate watching skaters eat shit, like when they get a fracture. And I had to look twice. I'm like, wait, your arms don't do that. It was just like,
that shit was so wild, bro. I couldn't even explain it.
but I feel like he got every bit that he deserved. Like, why are you rushing the stage?
Yeah.
After a man just got slapped in this climate, like you deserve to get mollywopped
For sure.
to the dust. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah. So yeah, you're doing a lot of things. He's doing comedy. He's got a podcast. Film ventures. Are you still rapping? You still making albums?
I'm not focused on it right now, but I'm itching to like make a new song or whatever. But I'm not focused on making an album right now. And it was a tough thing for me to do after like that's all I've known for a long time, and to be like, maybe I won't do that for the next year.
Yeah.
And it's a scary thing. But since I've made that decision to be like, I'm gonna focus on this other thing, so many more doors have opened up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like that. You gotta be able to like let things go.
It's scary to move
So
into
scary.
other things. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like that for me for the last like 2 years. Making that transition was like scary for me. But
I get that.
But it was great. Now I feel so like liberated knowing that I can do other shit and things are happening,
What are you listening to now?
What am I listening to?
Yeah.
I don't know, like rap wise, just random shit. RX Nephew, like
I just heard him the other day.
yeah, like I Babytron, like shit like
Babytron.
that. I like raps like that are like written like that. That's not giving a fuck about each line kind of thing.
Right.
It's fun to listen to, I guess.
So you're listening to current shit. I'm still stuck in like, I'm like, Pusha T's got a new album. Like I'm fucking hyped.
I listen to Pusha T's new shit. I'm listening to Kendrick's new shit. I listen to all that stuff, you know. But I can't say I'm really on the pulse. Those guys are because like some homie put me onto it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know there ain't nobody cool guys, and they're like putting me always onto like new weird like underground shit.
Yeah, I only know about RX Nephew because someone at my game threw it on, and then I only know about Babytron because of the fucking internet.
Yeah, it's all like internet homies that are like putting me onto it, and then I listen to it and I get it though. That's the thing. I'm like, okay, like I'm not super out of touch. Like I listen to it and it's like entertaining.
It connects, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? Like
it's funny where rap has, like it's like devolving. Like it's like it went super fucking lyrical Miracle Whip,
right?
And then there's always been another thing going on, and now there's just a whole bunch of rappers where like they're just like. They're not even on beat. They're not even rhyming. Right. They're just saying some shit. It's like fucking Blowfly.
But exactly. But I think that's what it is. It's like it connects on a funny level and like a witty, I don't give a fuck level.
Yeah.
Like if you're rhyming 3 words that are the exact same words in a row, but you say it differently. Yeah. It's like you got to be funny to do that too.
You got to be funny. Yeah. They're just like pressing on the irony right there. I like too, like when like there's a whole wave of rappers who are just like. Just so they're just not homophobic. They'll just say like the most wild gay shit. Like I thought that made me so happy because it's just so funny. Because that's how I talk to my friends about things and they're doing it in a way where it's like rappers were so scared to say anything that might be perceived as being gay, and now they're just like, I'll suck a motherfucker's dick, like it's fucking around, which is I think is like it's just funny because like it's good to see people let their hair down.
I think it's bold and it's refreshing because as the more modern generation of like kids who are getting into rap, everyone's thinking about getting a manager at 15 or blowing up and doing this. Right. There's still that underground group of kids that just don't give a fuck. Like they're not gonna get a branding deal for like a major brand anytime soon, but they don't give a fuck and they're just making that. There's like I like that boldness in that shit. You know what I mean?
You ever see these guys called Dark World? They're like it's like
is that a band?
No, it's like 9 white kids from Bumblefuck America.
Okay.
And they just started making raps and videos like nonstop.
Yeah.
And they had this song called Creme de la Creme, and like they had all these splinter groups. It was crazy.
Really? Okay.
And I don't think it ever caught on, but it was amazing.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, my buddy Lee put me onto it once, and I still every once in a while just revisit their YouTube.
Oh, is that Lee Shaner? Lee Intuition Lee?
No, Lee Lee Spielman.
Oh, Lee Spielman. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And he was like, check out this Dark World shit. And like when we had our office.
Yeah.
And I still like honestly I'll hear it I'll like think about it in my head. Like it's stuck in my head. It's like 7 years ago he put it on to me.
Yeah,
And I'm
Lee
like,
knows so much shit.
He knows so much shit
He's
about
so
it.
deep in all
yeah,
that shit.
he's in the middle of it.
Nah, for sure.
Like literally in the middle of all of it.
Right,
you know?
right, right.
Those guys are from Western Massachusetts.
Western
Oh,
Massachusetts.
okay. Yeah, I've definitely heard that name, Dark World. Yeah.
You gotta check it out. It's funny. It's like they're so in their own fucking lane. Then there was also another group who was doing kind of like comedic rap where it was like 7 dudes in a backyard and they're called like, and they're totally fucking ridiculous. And they're like, I wish I knew the name.
Are they like backyard wrestler type kids?
Yeah, they have backyard wrestler vibes. You know those guys?
I think I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen clips of it.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. They're kind of wrestling. Yeah, they were like, and they would like come out and be like, "I'm fucking the baddest." Like,
yeah, I've seen that shit. I love it.
I wish I knew.
I didn't think of it as like a rap group, but I just thought they were just fucking around.
Yeah, I just love. I mean, you just love seeing people fuck around. It's like CKY, you know, before even Jackass, right? For such a long time was like so funny to watch people be assholes and goof off.
It's the best seeing people not take themselves seriously in
Yeah.
spaces where people take themselves so seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the best shit.
That
and
is
rap
it.
is one of those spaces that everyone takes themselves so fucking seriously.
Right.
You know?
Right. It's all open, man. Everything's wide open now. It's a trip.
Yeah.
Free Young Thug. Right?
Of course. Yeah, that shit's fucked up.
You got a free Young Thug. And Gunna. Free Gunna too. Free them both. Right, Jason?
Yes.
All right. Great show.